Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Automate Office Work. I'm your host, Justin. Today's episode is from Spreadsheets to Work Platform. And today's episode is a bit of a demo, so you might want to be watching this either on YouTube or on LinkedIn so you can see the full video demonstration. But I will also try to paint a picture with words so you can follow along in the audio only version. Today, it's going to be a little bit about giving you a different perspective on your work, especially if your work involves spreadsheets. Many spreadsheets. Say you have at least a dozen spreadsheets, and there's all kinds of data on all of them. They all interact with each other, and maybe you have even kind of a linear kind of a process where you go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And finally, in culmination, if everything is in order, there is some kind of like a certificate that you issue to your users to show that they are in good standing and that they have everything in order for at least a year or two until you need to start the process again. And now, think about this in terms of your own situation. Maybe you have some people who need to go through a process, some kind of like a background check, some kind of fitness assessments. They need to show that they have the proper trainings and licenses in place so that you can mark them as being in good standing. This might also be not necessarily people, but maybe you have like legal entities, businesses, clinics, partners, partnerships that all need to go through some kind of a process every couple of years. And this might require you to use many spreadsheets. And you might say, how can I create an interface that makes this much nicer? And so this is a little bit of a show how to create an interface, how to manage your data in such a way that it looks nice and it's beautiful. It's an intuitive experience for both you and your users. Okay, so on my screen, I have a demonstration. It is called Work Hub. It has a tagline, focus, collaborate, achieve. Along the top, it's got it's got a nice logo that I created for this. It also has a search bar on the top, and in the top right corner it has a little picture of the user who's logged in and their email address. Below that, we've got two main columns, a left column with navigation. We've got home, companies, people, fitness assessments, trainings, attestations, background checks, compliance, responsibilities, competence assessments, approvals, certificates, tasks, admin, and help. This whole menu can be collapsed in on itself, and then you only see the logos from those instead without the words. If I can expand this back again. Okay, now we have the words back again. To the right of this is kind of a content window that shows the content so that when any of these tabs is selected, we see the actual content. Right now I have home selected. I did not build out like dashboards and things, at least for this demonstration. I did not take the time to build out like dashboards, and you could take the time for your specific case. When you do have things that are coming up for expiration or overdue, you would want to show those on the home screen. Maybe you have some pie charts and some graphs, and you can put fancy stuff here that is specifically for you. Okay. I am going to click on this companies tab first, and over in my right content, I have a list. It looks like a spreadsheet, and this is the first spreadsheet that we encounter. These are the companies that are underneath my company. I have, I guess, kind of a holding company, and under that I have different legal entities: Automate Office Limited, Automate Office Work LLP, and Automation LLC. And I can see some kind of different like registration IDs. I see a reference number for each. When I click on the name of one of these, let's click on Automate Office Limited, it opens up. Now I have a secondary navigation column. It says Overview, which is selected, and I have another tab. It says people. Along the top of that, I have this kind of sub breadcrumb that shows me where I'm at. I'm at companies. I have a little arrow and then it says Automate Office Limited. So I have selected Automate Office Limited in the list of companies. I'm now looking at its overview. I see its name, its ID, and its reference number. So it's very similar. It's a spreadsheet, but it only shows the data for this one company, not all three at the same time. I also have a pencil icon. I believe, yeah, I did not code this out for this demo yet, but I would be able to click on this pencil and then I would be able to edit any of these fields. Okay, I'm going to click on the people tab and it shows me the people who have different roles. So these are people in my company. Maybe they work at the global level, but then they also have roles, different kinds of roles in these different legal entities that then give them responsibilities. They need to have the proper licenses and certificates, the different background checks for each one of these specific to their role. So I've got another spreadsheet here. It's a spreadsheet of people that are inside this one company. And their names are Ben Rogers and Sarah Brown. It has the roles that they have in this one company, Automate Office Limited. One is a partner. The other one is in charge of the chief of risk. I have some kind of a status and a regime. And if I click on, let's say, the name Ben Rogers, it takes me over here on the left side. You see we've been kicked down to the People tab. We are now on Ben Rogers's Overview tab, and we have another spreadsheet. It's all the information just about Ben. You can see his name. He does not have a job title yet. He does not have a manager. We have a checkbox that says hidden. He is not hidden in the system, so by default he is visible across everything. He has an individual reference number, an email address. He has an official name, not just Ben Rogers, but Benjamin Thomas Rogers. And we also see all of his roles across the different companies. He's a partner, and he also has some other client dealing role at Automate Office Work LLP. In Automation LLC, he is only a partner, and in Automate Office Limited, he is only a partner. Okay, I can click on this up at the top. There's a pencil, and when I do click on the pencil, all of the editable parts become editable. I can edit these. I can indicate a manager by putting in an email address and all that. I'm going to stop editing. When I do click on this refresh, a lot of this data comes from an official registry. Where we are registering a bunch of our users with an official government website. And so like this individual reference number, that's a government issued ID, and the email address, the official name, and the roles are all in that registry that's outside. So I am not able to edit those things, but when I click on this refresh, this circle with the chasing arrows, it looks up his data, and if there is any change in these things, it updates it for us. Okay. So think about your own situation, how you're managing people. If I was to click over here just on the People tab on the left navigation column, it shows me a spreadsheet of all the people in our system. So we only have Ben and Sarah, and it shows their names and their roles. I can click on the plus symbol and I can add a new person. I can create a new person. Okay. I'm going to exit away from that, but this is how you add new people. If I click down to the fitness assessments, you see a spreadsheet of all the different fitness assessments that have been filled in. And we're taking this from the intake form platform, which I showed much, much earlier in the podcast. I believe it was around episodes 2 and 3. So probably on episode 3, I showed the intake platform that I built. So this system here integrates those forms that are being filled out. And it says at the top, submitters fill in this form. If I click on that, it opens up that form in my intake system. And it shows the people who have that form that is in progress or at any stage. We can see the unique IDs for them, the submitters, Ben Rogers and Sarah Brown. If I was to click on these unique IDs, it would open up their form submission in that system. I can see the date that it was created and I can see the status. So both of them have these in draft. So they need to do these. They need to submit it, and then my team needs to review the forms that they have submitted, make sure they're all in order. But we can see them here in this platform as well. On the left, I have trainings. I can click on that and we see yet another spreadsheet. These are all the trainings that have been logged by the team. Somebody took a training on the 4th of December, somebody else on the 3rd of December. I can see the provider who provided the training. We've got Microsoft, we've got Amazon. I can see a name for this activity. This is kind of a refresher. Somebody else had an AI training for managers. We have different tags, like we would like to know, like, what is the source of these trainings? Somebody just gave it a tag, training. And then we have these areas of training. So somebody said that this is generic knowledge. The other one is specific knowledge. We have a duration of the training. It's in hours. So this one's 2 hours and 3.5 hours. And we also have this checkbox confirmed. So this would be meant that these users can click on the plus. They can add their own training. Of course, they cannot choose themselves from a drop-down, but when they are logged in, we already know it's them and they can only do things on their behalf. By the way, they can only see their own data as well. Just like I'm able to click on the people and then click on a name to drill in to the specific person, they would not see this very far left column. What they would see is this secondary column that only drills into information filtered on them. So they only see their own data. They don't see everybody else's data, but they can click on trainings. They click on the plus and they can add a training, as well as I can do it on their behalf because I'm an admin. But ideally they put it in here, then I do a check. And then after the training, I think it's them. I think it's anybody can confirm, but it needs to be confirmed after the training has taken place. Like, what happens if they are scheduled for a training and then for whatever reason they don't go and take it? So there is a confirmation step that needs to be done. Somebody has to check this box to confirm that they actually did it. Okay, so I can see all of their trainings that they've done. After that is attestations, which is another form. They need to attest to a set of statements. Excuse me. The next one is a background check, and these need to be done every couple of years. I have another spreadsheet of all these that have been done. We see the person's name, when it was created, the status, which it's valid, a date that it was approved, a date that it expires. I've got some notes, and I can alert myself that they're going to be expired. Because we thought also, like, what happens if we do a background check and then let's say this person leaves the company before it comes time to do another background check. So we can uncheck this so that I'm not alerted when it comes time that this expires. Because he's left the company, we don't have to come do it again. So on a case-by-case basis, I can turn these on or off. I can click on the date that it was created, and it opens a pop-up here. I can see all the data about this background check. I can change it. I can change the status from a drop-down menu. I can change the date approved and the expiration date. They're just date pickers. I've got a notes box that I can type in new notes, and I've got some files that I can manage here. So here is Justin Turman bio.pdf. I can click and drag, and I can add some more files, or I can delete this file, or I can click on its name and I can open that PDF and look at it, as well as I'm the admin, so I can always delete this as well. Okay, so the user, what is the user's role in this background check? Actually, it's read only. They are not able to do their own background check because they're having their background check. They're not doing it. Somebody else is doing it. But they can come and they can see. They can have a read only. They can see that a background check has been done, or it's in process, or that it's now completely valid. So they can monitor their own things. The things that we do want them to do are the fitness assessments, We want them to register their trainings. They want to do an attestation. And I think the last thing we need them to do is this compliance. Yeah, compliance is yet another form that they need to fill in. They affirm that they have been in compliance with different statements as well. Okay, responsibilities. These are lists of roles and responsibilities that they're having in the various companies where they have different roles. So we do have their current roles as well as snapshots over time. And so if I click on current and I select a person, I do have this kind of a form that I can fill in all of their different roles and responsibilities, what they need to do, the different titles, if it's shared, from what date until what date. These are expandable tables, and we can have a different one for each legal entity. And then over time, I would come here and I would update these with their different roles, and as things change, and then I have a button for each to create a snapshot. And when I create a snapshot, it just takes the HTML from this one and it puts it into the snapshots list. And I've got a snapshot here for Ben Rogers taken on the 1st of December for this company, Automate Office Limited. If I click on the date, it opens up that snapshot. I can see exactly what that HTML looked like at that time. So if I do have some kind of a request from a regulator, they ask me what were his roles over time. Well, we need to be creating the snapshots. There is no set pattern on when these snapshots need to be made. It's from time to time when a person's role has changed. I guess I or my team know to create a snapshot as things change. So we have those. If I was to click on, let's say I'm on the responsibilities tab on the far left. If I was to click on his email address, it opens up that secondary. So now I'm in the people tab. I have Ben Rogers picked, and then the responsibilities tab is selected in the secondary navigation. And now I have a spreadsheet. It is filtered only to him. So now we see all the snapshots only for him. And I can, of course, open up his snapshot. If I go to his current, it shows me his current. There's no drop down for people because we already have the person selected. And so this is what Ben would see when he logs in. He can see his responsibilities. Only for him, it would not be editable. He would see a read-only version of all of this because the responsibilities are managed not by him, but by my team, my team of admins or compliance. Okay, the last thing that we have is competence assessments, and it says compliance fills in this form. So this is yet another form that needs to be filled in on the intake platform, but it's filled in this time by compliance, and we have to fill in a person's name in that form. So this tool is taking all the people's names that are in those submitted forms and putting them on here. Okay, we've got, let's see, just a couple more things to go through. We have an approvals section. So this is yet another spreadsheet. The approvals have been done, whatever that process is. It has the email address of the person, when it was created, the person who created the approval. I've got a notes field and a date approved. If I click on the created date, it opens a pop-up with this approval. I can edit this approval. I can change its notes. I can change the date approved. I can even clear it out so it hasn't been approved yet. Maybe I'm still working on it. And I also have a delete. But this is how we manage the approvals. I can do several of these. And finally, if all of that previous stuff is in order, our final culmination act is to create a certificate. I'm going to click on certificates. I have another spreadsheet, and there are no certificates created yet. We have a field for the person, created, creator, expiry date, alert expiration, company, and roles. And I'm going to click on the plus, and it gives me a pop-up to create a certificate. I am not filtered into a person yet, so I have a drop-down menu where I can select from these two people. I'm going to select Ben, and I am the creator by default because I'm the one logged in doing this. And I now have a certificate that is created for each one of his roles that requires a certificate. He only has one role that requires a certificate. It's that client dealing role. And we have a certificate we have a preview of a certificate. It's for Automate Office Work LLP. It says Certificate of Fitness and Propriety. This certifies that Benjamin Thomas Rogers has been deemed fit and proper to carry on the functions of client dealing. 16 December 2025. It has my email address on the signature field, and it says this certificate is valid for 1 year from date of issue. Okay, so I have a checkbox here, and if he had several of these for which he was I guess, potential to receive. We have checkboxes for each, and they're filled in automatically. I can uncheck them or keep them checked. But I'm going to click on Create, and it's going to take this HTML, and it's going to create a PDF, and it attaches it to the SharePoint data. And it says now, all certificates created and attached. Okay, so I clicked OK, and my spreadsheet has reloaded, and I have one item here. I have this person. His certificate was created today at this time. He has an expiration date that is 1 year from today, and by default, we're going to alert the expiration. The company was Automate Office Work LLP for the roles of client dealing. If I click on the date, it will open up a pop-up, and it says not found. I wonder why. I guess I have a bug. Okay, so this was supposed to open up the PDF, a beautiful PDF of his certificate. I want to show you the inner workings? Site contents. We're going to go to platform, certificates. Okay, here is one. Okay, we're going to say column settings, show hide columns. We need to turn on attachments so we can see them. Okay, we have an attachment. Click on this, we're going to go down. We have an attachment, a PDF. Okay, it is there. I wonder why SharePoint wasn't able to open this PDF. You do see this PDF. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous. And it used to just be in HTML. We took the HTML and we converted it to a gorgeous PDF. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's click on the date. It says not found. I wonder why. Maybe I have a... I wonder if I have a typo. I wonder if I can just click on inspect. Maybe I can do this. Maybe it's just an obvious typo in the URL or something. Okay, I've got an iframe, and let's see, legal site / legal / lists / platform / attachments / one / Benjamin Rogers Automate Office Work LLP 16/12/2025 certificate.pdf. And what's the difference over here? I wonder if I can even just take this. /sites. I am going to change my source, edit this as HTML. Okay, click away from this. Okay, all right, I have no idea why this URL is any different. It looks the exact same to me, but this is how it would look. We open this up and it shows the certificate. So anybody can come here, well, admins and the person themselves can come and they can view the certificates. We can print these off or download them, whatever we need to do with these certificates. And that is the culmination of this. All right. Below that, below certificates, we have a list of tasks. And for me as an admin, I can see all the things that all of my users have to do. So Ben and Sarah both have to fill in this fitness and proprietary assessment form. They can see the date that it was created, and they can see its status. They can also see its deadline of when it's due. It says tasks are forms assigned to users to fill in. They need to fill in the fitness assessments, the attestations, and the compliance form. On the tasks, now I can create a task. I can click on this plus, and it opens a pop-up here. I have a row for each person, and I have a column for each form that they need to fill in. I do have check marks that are already filled in for the fitness and proprietary because they already have one assigned that has not been submitted by them. So I cannot double assign a form to them. It's already been done. But these other ones, I already have check boxes filled in. I can assign these forms to both these people. I can also indicate a deadline and a reminder frequency, how often that they need to receive a reminder after the deadline has been passed. Okay, so this is how we create tasks. The people then receive emails. When they go to the tasks, they only see their own tasks. And I can see everything that everybody's doing because I'm an admin. I have monitoring rights of all this. Okay, the next things are admin and help. Under the admin, I have a page where I can manage all of my users that have access to the system. I can manage other admins. I can also manage, well, I haven't built this out, but according to your situation, we can manage all the different forms, the different statuses that you want to be able to have. You can do that all in your admin tab. And the last tab is a help tab. And here we could give some kind of access to a help document to our users so that they have the help exactly where they need it. All right. Let's now, I'm going to make this, I'm using this developers tab so that I can make my browser more narrow. And that is to show you that at a certain width, there it goes. We just changed the layout of our interface. And this is to allow your users to come to your system using a smaller screen device, something like a phone, and they can have a great experience on a smaller device. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and then make this more narrow. Okay, so when we're on a wider screen, it's okay to have all of these columns. You can have double columns and then a third column for the actual content. But when we're on a smaller screen, that doesn't make sense. When you're on a smaller screen, instead, we want to kick those two columns of navigation. We want to condense them and make them into drop-down menus. So we have that here. We have two drop-down menus, and then below that is where you see the actual content. And this is a nice experience. So as you're designing your user interfaces, I would recommend that you think about your mobile interfaces or your interfaces with smaller screens. Make it a really nice experience for your people because not everybody is at a big screen on a large device. Sometimes we're out on the go with just a small screen in our pocket, and your users need to be able to do the things that you need them to be able to do. Make it a really nice experience. Take away the excuses. And then they are empowered. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the interface of columns versus rows. Okay, so we start out with a row on the very top, just a global kind of a row with, of course, in the top left, you want to have the name of your platform. And when your users click on this, they should go to like the home screen, which is what happens when I click on here. To the right of that is a global kind of a search field. And what I've done is I made it so that you can type in anything. So we start typing in like the letter B, and it comes up with background checks, Ben Rogers, because Ben starts with B, inbox, because there's a B in the word inbox, responsibilities, and Sarah Brown. She has a B in her last name. So I can then click, or I can arrow down to any of these things. I can go to Ben Rogers, and it takes me to his overview page. I can click on, let's say, home or help, and it takes me to the help screen. So yeah, you can make your platform really nice and usable. In the top right, people usually want to see like their profile photo and the email address of them as they're logged in. Okay, then your first level of navigation is on the very left, and you should be able to expand and collapse that to make it nicer for your people. To the right then, you have then a kind of like a breadcrumb to show people where they are currently in the location. I do have an up arrow that you can always click on and it takes you back to home. But click on help. Yeah, then you have the name of where they're at. So maybe we go to people and then Ben Rogers. So now it says people, and then we have an arrow, Ben Rogers at automateofficework.com. Below that, you normally have your content window, or you have another level of navigation. And this one also we can expand and collapse to give your users a nice experience, however they would like it to be set up. Also, if I was to make this screen shorter, let's see, let's make it wide but short. Okay, each of my navigation columns also has a scroll bar to go up and down it also. So and then you have a third scroll bar that only scrolls around the content window. Okay. So do that for your people. Make really nice user experiences for them. Give them a nice interface. Make your solutions beautiful and intuitive. Show how all of your data across so many different spreadsheets interacts with each other and just flows from one to the next to the next to the next. So let's say if I was doing an analysis of Ben and seeing should I issue a certificate for him, I could just filter into Ben. I could look at him, his overview, but then I can just click down: fitness assessments, trainings, attestations, background checks, compliance, responsibilities, competence assessments, approvals, certificates. I can see very quickly that yes, we are ready to issue a certificate for him and issue it, well, if it needs to be issued. You could also automate a lot of this. Now that we see how everything interacts with each other, maybe when we open up certificates, maybe we have like a little message that says, yes, he is ready to receive a certificate. He does not have a valid certificate right now, so he needs to be certified and he's ready to be certified. And so there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with this, okay? Think about this not just in my specific situation, but think about your own situation. You have data that is across many, many spreadsheets. You do not need to be working just in spreadsheet hell. You need to get your spreadsheets in order. You need to then find a way to create an interface so that you can work with your spreadsheets. Also, when thinking about having other people come onto your system, really think about like who has to do what. So certain things need to be done by the individual themselves, and then certain other things need to be done by admins, maybe a compliance team, maybe you have like a training committee or a manager that they need to be able to do things as well. But you can show it all in one place and then give people the different powers to do their step. And you as an admin have global like monitoring abilities to be able to see everything and to make sure it's being done. So you've just given yourself visibility. You have given organization to everybody. You've empowered everybody. And you've made a beautiful system that is not just a collection of spreadsheets. Okay, so think about this. I hope I have opened your eyes to the beauty of converting your spreadsheets into a work platform. And if you have any questions about this, my name is Justin Turman, Justin, of course, and then Turman. You can find me on LinkedIn, and you can find me at justin@automateofficework.com. I am available for consulting. I can advise you on how to organize the chaos, how to get rid of the chaos of your spreadsheets. In a previous episode, I believe it was episode 9. Let's see, I go to automateofficework.com, scroll down to the podcasts, and I go down to, yep, exactly, episode 9, let's get rid of your spreadsheet chaos. So if you are still in the chaos of even just a single spreadsheet, check out that episode. It's beautiful and it shows you how to get rid of your spreadsheet chaos. But once you do that several times and say now you have 10 or even 12 spreadsheets, there's this level as well that you can go to bring beauty to your spreadsheets. All right, I have a book a call button. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm available for consulting, for solutions, even like this one. These are the kinds of solutions that I do for some of my clients that are ready to put in place an entire platform for all of their work. As well as I'm available for education as well to prepare your people. Okay. All right, my name is Justin, and feel free to reach out to me if you would like. And I wish you happy automating.